eat properly. There is so many. Eating also is a skill. If, say, my skill is to speak, skill in Hindi or Sanskritam is called what? बोलने की क्षमता या बोलने की शक्ति, right? Can I stay independent of my Shakti? I can. चुप बैठूंगा बस. I can shut up, right? When I close my mouth, I don't speak. I am independent of that Shakti. But if I have to express, I have to express through that Shakti. Giving you the example. For our own better understanding, Shiva is worshipped in that form as Kameshwara, and Shakti is worshipped as Kameshwari. And that inseparableness is called Ardha Narishwara. And that oneness, when they come together and express, that is when there is Srishti, creation. Kameshwara, Kameshwari. Kama means desire. And what is the desire? Bahusyam prajayeti. May I appear in multiple forms. For us, what is the instant experience? Instant gratification is when we interact with the world. That is what we have known as the known reality. Isn't it? I'd like to fine tune how I interact with that world so that I can eke out the best of the results, so that I find joy. Why is it that important? Duh, so that I can enjoy. Isn't it? Isn't that how we go through every single experience? How do I squeeze out the best of the moment where I can have joy as a result? Therefore, my known reality is this world. This world, which is also known as Prapancha. What does Prapancha mean? Prakarshena prakatita pancha maha bhutaya. The 5 elements, its combinations, permutations and combinations, expressing in multitude of variation. But in and through all that variation, when Adi Shankaracharya ji and the scriptures say that Jagan Mithya, what is the Mithyatva? What is the illusory part of it? To see the world as something separate from Bhagavan, that makes it lower. To see it as Bhagavan's Swarupa alone makes it higher. That is the only difference. Srishti vahi, drishti alag. The Srishti is the same. It is the drishti with which we see it has to change. And that is why they say, yatha drishti tatha srishti. If the mood is awesome, what a beautiful day. Isn't it? If the mood is off, what a day is this. It has got nothing to do with that day. If the mood is good, awesome day. Such a bright day. Such a warm day. सारे एडजेक्टिव लगा दो. The mood is off. Why is it off? Because it is moodha. Moodha alone has off. Moodha means murkha in Sanskrit. So sometimes I see it as lower, sometimes I'm unable to see it as higher. But this fluctuation is not in the world, in what I am seeing. It is there in my perception. See, after 40, I got this prescription, where, what do you call, double whammy, wherein neither can I now see properly long nor short. It's a bifocal. Even that equipment which is supposed to help me with bifocal, if it is not in the right position, if I keep it here, I can't, so it has to go up there. And now because it has gone distant, now I have to zoom it. And if I put it there, there is a light reflecting on it. Even with the equipped system, my drishti not being well, Srishti seems hazy. But the known reality is, most of us start with that world, that prapancha as real. So, we start engaging with that world. Through that experience that which is subtle, sublime, until my mind can abide unshakably into that divine alone. This yatra is called sadhana. This journey from the known prapancha to understand that known prapancha as Paramatma is called sadhana. Therefore, when we have the different kinds of arrangements, dolls. Yes, one obvious fact that you said is the lower is all the vyavaharik display. Then you have saints and sages. Then you have Devi Devatas. Then you have the three forms of Devi. And on the top is Kalasha. A significant way of looking at it. But most of us, where are we? In that vyavaharik prapancha. Okay, on a side note, which child, whether girl or boy, which child doesn't like toys? Is there anybody here who has not grown up with toys? And your format of toy may be different. I may not have dolls, but gilli danda, kanche sab the. Rustic format, but the. So every year the child in that collection, there is a new toy or doll added in. And that is given to the child. Ki bhai, tu next year play with this new upgrade. How many of you still use iPhone 5S? Anybody? Nobody? है या नहीं? मेरा क्वेश्चन पेपर हमेशा बदल के बात करते हैं यार. मैं पूछ रहा हूँ है कि नहीं? हाँ या ना बोलो बस. नहीं है ना? ये मेरा क्वेश्चन पेपर क्या? You also teach, right? When your children in the classroom, when you ask questions and they answer some other thing, Anybody using iPhone 5s? Thank you. You want upgrade. The child also wants upgrade in the toys, man. You cannot keep saying, पिछले साल का खेल ले, उस साल का खेल ले. So to invigorate that mind, they said toys, because they love that. Even in that, what is the subtlety added in there? It is that which is worship worthy, that which was in the altar, that is given to you. Even through the toys, there is spirituality taught. Therefore, let us not be foolish in saying materialistic and spiritual. Because suddenly being spiritual doesn't mean that we become in some vacuum. It is living in that same material, but the drishti changing, that the adhara, the substratum of it is nothing but that Paramatma alone. This transformation is what is initiated in the 9 days. Navaratri. And one of the greatest influence on our lives are the influences of Nakshatra Graha Tarana, the planetary objects in our life. Isn't it? Nakshatra Graha Tarana, there is a lot of influence. How many of you believe in that kind of horoscopes and horoscopes and आराम से पूरा तो मेरा क्वेश्चन पेपर मत बदलो. Simple, हाँ या ना. Do you believe? Yes, I believe. No, I don't believe. तो सब क्लास बाद में देंगे. हाँ या ना. Thank you. As a teacher, I can demand that. My question paper, how can you change the question paper to conveniently put your answer in it? Horoscope is based on Jyotishya Shastra. Shastra meaning it's a science, calculatable science. It needs a lot of astute intuition to interpret what you have calculated. That is where a lot of variations creep in. But nonetheless, it is a very great, sophisticated Shastra. Why do I call it sophisticated Shastra? Was it Galileo who said that it is solar centric? और what did Galileo say? अब गैलीलियो ने क्या बताया? हाँ तो सोलर सेंट्रिक ही तो हुआ ना. Heliocentric. Copernicus said. हाँ उसने भी वही बताया. When was this? Which century was this? 14th, 15th century. When was Ramayana? Treta Yuga. When Vashishta ji took out the Panchanga to decide that on Navami Tithi his Rajyabhisheka, Navami Tithi his wedding, where the Sankalpa was made, they were mentioning it as Saurya Mandala, this is solar system, where it is solar centric and the earth goes around. Give them some due credit that this was way back then, that it was in practice, not stipulated, not hypothesized, but in practice. So these grahas, do they really have any impact on us? I was explaining the other day, graha, we have translated it as planet and then get trapped in our own translation. Graha we have translated into as planet. Planet word has a definition to it. Having understood the word planet and its definition, we come back to the grahas and say, this doesn't fit that definition. Therefore, this is not scientific. I say, ja apni shakal dekh ke aa. We made a mistake in interpreting it as planet. What does a graha mean? Graha means that which can be impacted by a shadow eclipse or can create that eclipse with respect to earth. That we have called as graha. Therefore, moon also is a graha, Surya also is a graha. 9 grahas accordingly. Am I getting across? The nearest graha to this earth is moon. Graha translation should have been planetary objects instead of a planet. Planetary object which has a close proximity is moon. Earth is 70 or 75% water in the oceans. And we know for a fact that high tide and low tide happen because of the moon's positioning. In the mass of water, highest high tide is possible when there is full moon. Lowest high tide is new moon. We see that impact on the waters, on the earth, by the nearest planetary object, which is moon. Human body, human system is also about 80% water. The same moon, on the highest high tide, we find highs. Lowest, we find the lows. Therefore, the ancient called this study, and those who have to be not seem to have balance in their mind because of the highs and lows that they go through, they called it as lunatic. और टिक को बाद में टिक करेंगे. लूना का मतलब क्या है? The effect of the moon on your very brain. Even today it is seen that the movement of the moon has that effect. Do you know Seattle? Apna Seattle. It is supposed to be clouded almost perennially, almost. Gloomy. Highest amount of depression calculated in US mass, they say, is in that place. Why? Sun. Absence of sun for that long a period has an effect. और प्रमाण चाहिए? So these grahas have that effect. Those navagrahas can be tuned, the effect of it can be tuned with the colors of clothes that you wear, the kinds of food grains that you eat. Therefore, Nava Dhanya, Nava Ratna. So today happens to be both Saptami and Ashtami. So Saptami, what is the color? Blue है. अष्टमी का कलर क्या है? Yesterday is grey. Today is two colors. Saptami and Ashtami. Orange and peacock blue. ऑरेंज है ना, वो शाम में पहन लो. Peacock blue and orange. Huh? I am always in memo. See, like the batteryless clock, it has not gone bad because it shows correct time twice a day. I also like that. I am in the right clothes at least once among the 9 days. So the Navaratna, Navadhanya, these 9 colors, I wouldn't say it plays a major role in the impact of it, but at least minor fine tuning can be done. It's like, when you're sitting in a silent room and there is that AC happening and suddenly stops. You know how much relief you feel? It's not that significant a thing, but when it stops, that is when we understand what significant it was. Similarly, these have that fine tuning on the effect of that grahas. During the 9 day, when we fine tune it, recharge our system, so that we focus on gaining mastery over our own lower nature, so that abiding in the higher, my vision is changed to see that higher perspective through and through, in spite of being dragged through my prarabdha called various aspects of life. Because suddenly, because you become spiritual, it is not that you have a different husband, different wife, different environment. It is the same husband, it is the same wife, it is the same children, it is the same job, it is the same neighbor. Nothing of that is going to change. What changes is the drishti to play with the srishti. That reassessment of our drishti is the essence of this Navaratri and the Golu, or whatever is the process that has been instituted. Clear? Another aspect, another depth of this Navaratri to be understood, so that it is more gloriously participated in, rather than skeptically participating in. Oh, I don't believe, but it's good to have hangout with friends. And traditionally we give out those green leaves and some nuts, beetle nut, haldi kumkum bolte hain na. But I like to hang out with them. Therefore, there is the essence to it. Hope I could convey the message of it. Because today is the Saptami and Ashtami together, and therefore learning the significance helps us better. Any questions with regards to this? No. Last part that I will say. Kitna time hai? Oh, I have. is in the Shakta Upasana, Shakta, the Devi worship, there is a culmination of mantra, tantra, yantra into the upasana. And it is something that which is ingrained or encouraged to both men and women to practice this Shakta Upasana. As a process of Upasana, sadhana, there is nothing to fear with this mantra, yantra, tantra system. Why? You are trying to get closer to your mother. कभी कभी गुस्सा करती है. Sometimes she gets angry. Okay, let me ask you this instead of concluding it. When you get angry with your child, nastily angry, what is that one sentence that you say before you give them a hug later? Yes, sorry is a stupid habit. Why should you be sorry for correcting your own child to be on the right path? Stupid standpoint. I am not your enemy. It is all for your sake only. Every parent says this to the child. Right? Haji? From you to him or? So, as a mother we do that, right? We do get angry sometimes. But our anger is justified, isn't it? It is for your welfare and for your good only. Barabar hai na? Now when as a mortal mother, parent, I can see the good of the child, therefore I use that aggression. As the Vishwa Jagadhatri, would she ever leave us, abandon us? Can she afford to? I never feel like, I go to God and say, why did you abandon me? I go, mera challenge hai, karke dekh. You try abandoning me. Why? Doesn't have a choice. Bhagwan doesn't have a choice of abandoning us. Is there a parallel world or a parallel creation where I can shift and say, Bhagwan, until you change, I am not going to come back to your world? Nahi hai bhai. Apun aise hi hai. Accept now. He doesn't have a choice other than to care for. पता नहीं स्वामी जी, भगवान ने मेरा हाथ छोड़ दिया. छोड़ नहीं सकता. समझ में आ रहा है? So the exuberance with which you go in front of Bhagwan is not like hi मैं दीन, hi मैं. That's why I some songs I have a special. मैली चादर ओढ़ के धोके आना भाई. किसने रोका है? चादर मैली है तो धोके आ. So when you're going to your mother, mother accepts you, but pushes you to grow. She doesn't stop you from growing. but never rejects you. See, this is what my observation, okay? As a small toddler walking on their four, many times they are in a puddle. Swayam krita paradha. You know what I am indicating, right? Their self-made puddle they are in. They are clueless. They are pachak, pachak. The moment they see that liquid, they will keep pachak, pachak, pachak. It is all like. Have you seen your kid in that format? Did you take a spray of Dettol or first spray it all across and then pick them with a forceps and then. As a mother, what did you do? I've seen fathers do that, they'll pick it up like, hey, isko dekho yaar. Mothers don't have that kind. They'll just pick it up, take and wash and clean and everything. Have you seen it as your own experience? And she is Jagat Janani. Cannot abandon us. And when we are turning towards her as the mother, as a upasaka, the mantra, tantra, yantra and the practice of it, there is no ill effect of it. Am I getting across? When Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was asked, are you not scared of Kali? I said, no, she is the one who removes all scare and fear from my heart. Now that she has put me in her lap, let that who is trying to scare me be scared. I am not scared. Why? I am with my mother. Isn't it? So the same mantra, tantra, yantra when applied for sakama, for some desire-oriented purposefulness, then stick to the rules, regulations and the stipulated guidelines. It can have some backlash if you don't stipulatedly do it. So sit down with the attitude that I am going to my mother. And these are some of the most powerful Siddha mantras. One such powerful Siddha mantra is the Lalita Sahasranama. Then the second beautiful, powerful one is Saundarya Lahari. And the most powerful one is the Chandi Parayana. There are 13 chapters and there is the various charitras of Devi. It's also called Devi Mahatmya. It's also called Saptashati. Shata is 100. Saptashati 700. Do you know any other 700 slokad work? Bhagavad Gita. That is also Saptashati. So Saptashati, but we call Devi Mahatmya as Saptashati. So there is most powerful where you have to draw that energy of that mantra before with the certain processes and then chant it and then lock it back in. So there is the mantra that has to be introduced and how you chant it. The most powerful, most beneficial Chandi Parayana is the mantra part. Tantra part. Tantra is, don't get confused. Oh, Tantra Swamiji. we have read, we have been fed with, I don't know when we will feel fed up, we should soon. We have been fed with the concept that Tantra is manipulation of something bad. वो तांत्रिक है. Do you use your pen right now to write? So using the yantra called pen, you are applying the technique called writing, so you are a tantric. Tantra means what? To apply a process. But our brains have been filled with the movies and the kind of study or the way it is represented in the West. Oh, Tantra is West में तो और भी खरा है. It is in East, it is esoteric. In the West, they see it only as erotic, and they make an erratic misjudgment on it. Tantra means a process. The simplest, best process is with the attitude change that I am the child sitting with the mother, chanting, invoking her blessing. The methods are doing it as a upasana or chanting it as japa. There are certain mantras and you chant them as japa, and then there are those severe penances. In the techniques, there are severe penances. These 9 days they do nirjala. Nirjala means they will not eat anything that is burnt. Jala hua kuch nahi khayenge. Nahi. Jala means water. Nirjala, not even a drop of water. I've seen. I myself used to do it. I was asked forcefully not to do by Guruji himself. Now once it comes from that side, okay. So nirjala. If you can't do nirjala, then jala sahita, you have water sumptuously. Only thing is there is high responsibility. समझे? Higher input, higher the rate of running to the output. So it's jala sahita. And then people then start translating, oh, then any liquid is okay. Then we will say, I get too much of headache. So somebody told me that it is okay to have ekakshari or dvayakshari. Do you know what is ekakshari and dvayakshari? Ekakshari tea, dvayakshari coffee. Madhya madhya chai samarpayami, madhya madhya coffee samarpayami. 10th round samarpayami, 12th round samarpayami. The tapas is meant to fine-tune the mind, but if the mind is physically not possible, don't abuse the system. If you have gastric troubles, if you have acidity, if you have migraines, if you have, they will certainly not allow you to focus on your sadhana. Then go eat something, put it to ease. Then fine tune it and uplift it. You understand the purpose? Otherwise you will, मैं खाना नहीं खाऊंगा, Tylenol खाऊंगा. I've seen people, oh Swami, I am on upvas, but Tylenol पे Tylenol दबाए जा रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Instead have some normal food. It is to put that mind at ease and balance so that it can tune in to that higher. You be the judge of your system. Am I getting across? So mantra, tantra, yantra. That who I invoke that Devi in. Simplest, have a pratima or a photo framed so that my mind can visualize easily. Or have a vigraha, simpler. The more complicated, or so, I wouldn't say complicated, sophisticated would be the yantra of Sri Chakra. The moment you have that Sri Chakra, it comes with a package of how you have to invoke, how you have to do the upachara, how you have to do Navarna Vidhi, and the entire Sri Chakra is in 9 layers. Each layer has one kind of invocation and one kind of mantra, and that is when the entire yantra is invoked and Devi's presence in the Bindu Mandala Vasini. She is in the Sri Chakra Raja Nilaye. And where is her exact GPS coordinates in that Sri Chakra? Bindu Mandala Vasini. So she is right in the middle, in the Bindu. Bindu has various other explanations, I will not go into those details, but that Sri Chakra Upasana can also be invoked, but for which you have to be introduced. The simple techniques itself we have to be introduced. This is like a maze, and into that maze one has to necessarily be introduced or initiated into. So that is the Sri Chakra Upasana, the yantra portion of it. Otherwise your yantra can be as simple as a japamala, sitting down with the mantra and doing your mantra japa after your puja japa is done. So this is how we invoke the 9 nights of fine tuning this system so that the drishti changes. So my interaction with the srishti is enhanced, so that that which I am perceiving is nothing but divinity. In that perception is where I find stability, thereby gaining peace, thereby ensuring that joy can be enjoyed without attachment to it. Surfer surfs the wave, and when is it called successful? With attachment or without attachment? If he gets attached to the wave, what happens? He gets sucked into it. He can enjoy it only when there is a detached presence in it. As the surfers, they'll say, I caught 4 waves and it was awesome. But we have never experienced it. Try. And in that trial is the whole growth process. May Mother Durga Bhavani bless us all to be able to use this knowledge, wisdom, fine tune ourselves and grow in the right direction and attain to that this very life. And next life is guaranteed, but guaranteed if it is a human birth or not, we don't know. But in this life we have a guarantee of that human life, right? So let us make the best use of it. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Happy Navaratri again. Couple of dates to remember. We have been having Lalita Sahasranam and Puja in the evening. If it is possible, please join. On the Tuesday, we have the Vijayadashami Puja, 7 to 8 p.m. right here in the temple there. Please come. Then next week, Saturday, 8th, in Chitrakoot, we are meeting, gathering for Ras and Garba. So please join us for that. Then any more dates? with regards to this? Hari Om.